we're gonna do an updated video. Actually, this is a perfect example. I'm gonna do an updated video on how to use this drill bit sharpener. So you can see right here, this is not going to sharpen one. It doesn't have a point that it doesn't have the chisel point where it comes to a small point, and it's the relief's been ground backwards. So what I think has happened here is this angle's been set wrong. So if you're new to this, watch this video. This is kind of afterwards troubleshooting. So if we tried to use this, it won't drill. Drills or not, I guess you can tell by the geometry, or you can try to drill with it. But okay, so that's what it's doing. That's a lot of weight. So now I'm going to sharpen it, and then you're going to see what a drill bit should do. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to find the right collet size. So that's the right collet. Make sure you don't lose this. And the collet's going kind of backwards on here. So go in here. This comes out here. So you got to make sure you feed it in the slot. Twist it all the way forward. Now this is the web diameter. So if you have, this is a 8.1 to 9 millimeter drill bit. So we're going to be around here. So we're going to load it up, meaning so we're going to push this forward. We're going to push the drill bit forward, and we're going to rotate it so it sets the web. So I just got to get this collet half going. And you want to be careful as that you don't like force things out of place. So now this might take 2 or 3 times to try to fix this now. So okay, so now you put it in here, line up these flats with this. And you shouldn't be bogging the motor out. Like, it should just barely touch it, especially the ones that are really rough. They're gonna just touch it. So you might have to do that a handful of times. But this isn't for like rough grinding drill bits, because this is a diamond disc and it'll wear it out. So you pretty much go until the pretty much go until the grinding stops. So you want to be careful. You see, actually this has got a bit of heat in it. You don't want it to get that hot. Okay, so now, okay. So that's pretty good. Now what we need to do is you need to drop it down here, and what this does is it splits the point. So what we're doing is now we're grinding on this edge. Before we were grinding this edge. Now what we're going to do is split the point. So this is a nice chisel and goes right through the material. So you drop it down and you kind of just wiggle it back and forth. Okay, and we'll do this one. Okay. So that looks pretty good to me. Well, you can zoom in there and see. Okay, so now let's try it. Especially if you're new to this, try to use the drill and double check your work, right? So you can see the difference, right? So that's pretty much it. So generally, zooming in here, this relief puts this on here, and it makes this point as, like, you want this point to be pronounced, but you want it to kind of be as small as possible in a sense, because that's, you pretty much, this is cutting, but that little point is getting forced through the material. So that's a little bit of an advanced video of this. Of a drill bit that I pulled out that was ground improperly. It's kind of hard to tell, but that angle's too steep. So this is normally what sets the angle. It's 118 degrees. If you put a square behind this, this would almost be 90. So that's improperly ground. We're gonna look. I'm just looking here, maybe. Same thing here. It's hard to tell, but this will probably cut. But the issue is this will get dull really quick, and the reason why is as the material is coming around cutting it, there's not enough material supporting it behind itself. So you can see this angle here is the highest point, and it'll cut it. But what'll end up happening is it'll break it off, whereas you see this one, there's all this material behind it. So that'll actually be a better drill bit, and it'll give you a longer life. I'm just looking here, and then yeah, same thing here. If you wanted this drill bit to look really good, I'll show you how this drill bit should look. So you can see again, that's the chisel point right there and how big that is. So generally, you want to make sure you have a fairly true grinding wheel. So you can see how that almost looks flat. And what I didn't do is I didn't relieve this, but you can do that and kind of smooth that out behind it. But this almost looks flat because we have a nice stacked up amount of material in behind it. And then right here, I just cleaned up this and tried to reduce this split point because that's fairly big. In theory, you could kind of keep doing that a little bit more just to get the web out of there. But again, like looking at this, sharpening stuff freehand is a little bit more difficult, but you need to start and see what a proper drill bit looks like. And this is one thing I noticed is that drill bit would have cut, but what'll end up happening, because there's not enough material behind it, it'll end up chipping or breaking or wearing out too soon. Here is another perfect example. So this angle wasn't set right. So what ends up happening is the whole chisel point's all rounded out. Actually, I don't think it was this. I think it was that wasn't set right. So again, you can see that there's no chisel point. It's just rounded totally out. So let's do this one quick. And it's not like a long production, right? If it only takes, I don't know, 30 seconds to sharpen a drill bit. Before I do that, I'll show you this. Let's try to drill it out. Okay. So this one's 13, so we'll put it there. Now try to work even-sided. Don't just try to grind one side off. Do 3 on this side and 3 on the other side. You can see it still hasn't gotten rid of that, so I'm just gonna have to do this one more time. I'm gonna split the point, but I think I'm gonna have to sharpen it a couple more times here. So it's starting to look a bit better. We'll try this. in theory, that's how fast a sharp drill bit, and this is kind of a crappier drill bit. I can tell the material's a little bit crappier, but that's, you know, 1/2 inch plate, and that's how quickly you can go through it. Just to go over a bit of this, this is what I'm talking about, is the chisel here, right here. That's what you're essentially forcing through the material, and this relief angle is what I was talking about with the, you want that to be fairly minimal so you don't lose all the support behind your cutting edge. So